Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're enjoying your day so far, and today we're going to talk about trash talk in Call of Duty. A few days ago, of course, well, these last couple of days, really, there's been a lot of spice going on the timeline. We talked about this Crim6 TJ Halley stuff yesterday. Also going to talk about a continuation to the methods versus silly stuff later in this video. But certainly some players have been saying over the last several months, look, trash talk needs to come back to some degree. We need greater rivalries in the CDL. If the CDL is probably going to grow, we need to, well, tap into the Warzone side, but also tap into the rivalries that are inherent in this league. And Sensor certainly has a few words to say on this in a few minutes time, but also, well, really looking at, well, what the rest of the team looks like right now. Everyone over the last several years has become more buddy-buddy, not necessarily the last couple of years, but yeah, especially from like Black Ops 2 Ghost days, where it was absolute chaos on the timeline every single day. That was probably a bit too much. Then it became to the point where, okay, everyone was playing 8, everyone was friends, and I think Aches has said this a few times as well, the fact that, okay, like, given everyone's friends, there's not really the rivalries here anymore, like Aches versus Nadeshot and Aches versus Scump, and these kind of rivalries were so instrumental back in the day, and even though they didn't necessarily, like, hate each other, at least, yeah, a bit of trash talk and a bit of banter back and forth helped ignite people's interest in the scene. Does that need to come back? To what extent should it come back? Is it actually going to, as players potentially get more and more mature, I imagine, as they get older? You would think in theory. Certainly intrigued to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you are new. As always, I'd greatly appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that. This of course from Crim6 yesterday if you guys missed it, which, well, I'm not going to read through again, but yeah, you guys had a good time with that one in the comment section below of yesterday's video. This is what Kenny had to say a few months ago. I saved up this tweet for a while and I thought, okay, when are exactly we going to talk about it? Now it seems to be the perfect time. Kenny says, look, League, that being League of Legends, is pure toxicity, but it's also so fun and addicting. I love it. Let's bring that back to COD. So I kind of saying, okay, the toxicity, we need this element back in Call of Duty, which, okay, maybe a lot of people would argue you don't necessarily need that in ranked play and stuff like that, as if you're playing League of Legends. But yeah, well, he continues with the following. There is zero trash talk in COD. I can say for sure I would love some. It's literally COD culture, which we somehow lost, right? So back in the day, Black Ops 2 Ghosts, like, everything was complete chaos. Some of the clips, I'll have to do like a 3 minutes in COD history on stuff like this in the future, because yeah, absolute chaos that was going on the main stage back in the day. But over several years, like, people started playing 8s with each other, and it got to the point where no one was really, like, no one hated each other, no one really had any, like, animosity towards each other, and everyone was kind of pretty buddy-buddy and got on a fair bit. These last couple of years, we certainly started to see a little bit of drama creep back in, but generally, as players get older, players maybe get slightly more mature. You look at a game like Counter-Strike, for example, where probably the average player age is like more like 24, 23, rather than in Call of Duty, it's probably like 20, 21, something like that. Certainly, I think you see in those games that people are generally slightly more mature. There's less trash talk in Counter-Strike than maybe there was 10 years ago when it was a very young esports. However, certainly something which does ignite the scene, right? In a sense, it's going to say, in this clip we're going to look at in a second, look, we need these rivalries to come back in full force, because that's what grew COD in the first place, was people being very interested in, really, like, in the big personalities, rivalries between big personalities. That's what people tune in for, right? They don't necessarily tune in for the game itself. And some years the game is good, some years the game is bad. If we want people to tune in no matter how good the game is, then yeah, we're going to need to have these rivalries properly installed, right? And we have talked about, of course, this coming season, the fact, okay, LA Thieves is back, Dallas Empire's here, the reigning world champions, Atlanta FaZe, OpTic Chicago back at its rightful owners. You know, it's obviously great rivalries and great storylines on the organization side. Can we reflect that in the players side? That's certainly something which a lot of people are talking about, right? Given the fact, okay, you got guys like Octane doing good on the content stuff, but a lot of the Atlanta FaZe guys, not too much content going on over there. They're certainly focused on winning, and maybe that isn't the right thing to do if we want to necessarily grow the scene in that way. And it's not like we have to, like, artificially create trash talk out of nowhere, but maybe being a bit more eager to go down that route may help the scene to some degree, as Kenny's kind of implying here. So yeah, I'm more referring to ranked play toxicity than League, not really a pro level, but I wouldn't be opposed to pro player trash talk from time to time. And so yeah, step one, of course, is to have a ranked system regardless. But yeah, so pretty interesting that Kenny's talking about this a couple of months ago. Just wanted to share what Sensor had to say on the matter here, talking about how, well, him versus Paddy P, for example, he likes shooting his body, but also, yeah, the trash talk between pro players and building those rivalries is very important to creating a sustained ecosystem where players can just come in, be the best players in the game, and get a million Twitter followers overnight. That's not the case right now, and well, therefore, Sensor has something to say about it. I think he does have a fair point.
Yeah, what do you think the league can do better to just grow the pro scene, challenger scene, and just everything just to last for 10 years from now, when we're maybe coaching or casting, whatever it may be? Like, what do you think the steps now the league has to take to just keep expanding?
I think there's two different things they need to do. They need to capitalize on Battle Royale with Warzone and convert a lot of these Battle Royale people into competitive Call of Duty fans, which they're trying to do with these Warzone tournaments. But I think the most important thing is, why is the league here in the first place? Is because of OpTic, Scump, Hector, and Nadeshot. So you need to have more people like that. So I was just talking to Seth the other day about this, like late night, we were texting each other, and I was like, yo, we need people like Octane. We need people like Simp. We need people like Envoy. Like Envoy's starting to do well. Like we need these people to start making more content, and we need to start making these people our rivals, like literally, like on social media. Like there needs to be bigger fan bases where people could compete against each other. Like we need to have more rivals. We need to have more platforms. We need people to do more than just be players. Like I don't think people realize NBA wouldn't be a thing today without Larry, Magic, even the people before that, but Michael Jordan. Like you need these people that either are really good at what they do, or in gaming, it's a little bit different. They don't have to be the best in what they do. Nadeshot wasn't the best player, but he was the most popular guy. You know, like you need people like this to be in the scene. You need these people to come grow the scene and make it bigger.
All right, noted. We got to start talking more to each other. Everyone in the league has to start hating each other. Doug, send me a list of the people that you hate, and I can make some tweets. I can send some tweets out. You know, try and talk some more shit and get the league more entertaining. Because I think that's especially what helped build Call of Duty in like Black Ops 2, where it was like the OpTic. They were never winning, but they were doing well. And then you had like the Aches and the Crim on Cole, who were the villains who won everything, and people just love watching it. And then Call of Duty like blew up to a whole new level. But like Slasher said, the community's too soft nowadays. The community, everyone's a GOAT, everyone's the best, everyone's super nice. So maybe we just got to flip it on its head and start going crazy.
So I just looked up some famous trash talk moments. This was one of them. I mean, this is from Black Ops 2, of course. You got this Impact Squad. You got Parasite right here, Miracles. I mean, okay, you can see Adam Killer Sloss, I think. Absolutely legendary team, of course, as well. This is in the Black Ops 2 days. And yeah, what a team, what a game. There may even be Jacob actually in the back, and potentially Momo over here as well. So yeah, certainly an absolute throwback image. But this is what everything was like back in the day. Like Black Ops 2 Ghosts, this is really where the scene started to become something. And it was largely because players like Parasite, players like Aches, you know, Nature, of course, and Scump did a massive thing for Call of Duty, but Nature and Scump weren't there on their own. They had their rivals. There was the villain in Aches. There was, of course, the villain in the Complexity team for a time, in, you know, Clayster for a little bit, and Crimsix, of course, and Calm actually for a time before he then joined the OpTic Gaming Dynasty alongside Crimsix. So yeah, so many legendary rivalries back in the day, and the trash talk was just all the time. Like the Twitter sphere was absolute craziness. Every single event, it was just absolute chaos, and well, everyone wanted to tune in, of course, and that is really what helped grow the scene from its inception. Last couple of years hasn't maybe been the case to the same degree, and sent to saying, look, we kind of need to get back to that, get to a point where the players actually do have a bit of rivalry, and this certainly has been something which has been happening over these past few weeks here, I think. With things certainly getting a little bit spicier here in 2020. Zuma says as well back in September, like, if you're an AMP player, stop making BS excuses. We talked about this at the time, and as Slasher says, look, it's easier now than it has ever been to get a chance. I don't know who is complaining, but all it says is they are soft. Like, people are too soft nowadays, and as Sensor says, look, that's what I'm saying, Austin. 14-day contracts, which is kind of the new thing for this year, where people can get signed to 14-day contracts to a team and then get released kind of on a trial basis, will change the game. We're going to see a lot of players get opportunities, etc, etc. But yeah, Slasher basically saying people nowadays are way too soft. And well, Fire says as well, a couple of bits of drama, a bit of spice to finish off the video along this vein. Fire says, look, Triumph picked up Sensor over me during Modern Warfare when I was in my prime, waking up hungry every single day. So saying, look, Sensor's trash. Why do they pick him up? It should have been me instead. Looks like Fire might be joining the Paris Legion right now. But yeah, well, also we get this yesterday. So Methods was saying how, look, Silly's charging $75 an hour for coaching. Pay me $250 and I'll help you unlearn whatever it is he learns. Silly absolutely fired back saying, look, you've been on a good team for 5 years longer than me and have a fraction of my earnings. It's about the earnings for you. It's about the journey for me. That fluke event you had won't happen again. That being the World Championship Evil Geniuses 2018. Past 2 years, you have a losing record against yours truly. P.S. I'd love to know which good teams beside World War II Zebra Tattoo Madagascar character, because yeah, it's like a zebra tattoo on his arm that you can see right here. Past 2 years, I'll let you have Modern Warfare, but you costed Blast on LAN at Champs. Really upset that you came at me even when I bought your book. How to get dropped in 3 easy steps. FaZe, Rise Nation, and then Eagles OpTic Gaming right here, and Methods right in the middle. $5 billion stadium with a dollar store team. You're lucky those three didn't take that 500k offer for your spot. So yeah, pretty spicy stuff. And we saw last season as well, like Draza versus Exceed, that bit of drama between Minnesota Rocker and OpTic Gaming Los Angeles, which then came came true, I think, at the World Championship. So yeah, certainly a very exciting one. And when you go into an event, stuff like this always comes up, right? And therefore, like, okay, like if Meredith and Silly play each other in an event now, there's probably going to be a bit of spice on the timeline, whoever actually wins that series, right? And Meredith will send a tweet Silly's way, he'll maybe fire back, and this kind of stuff, well, it creates interactions, and well, it creates more fan bases for these players as well, and it's maybe something that we should lean into a little bit more heavily as a Call of Duty community. Intrigued to hear your thoughts on this one in the comment section below, though. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. Really helps out the YouTube algorithm to know you enjoyed this content. Other people like you may enjoy this content as well, and help grow the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you for watching as always, take care, and I will see you next time.